So, ich glaube, ich wäre dann soweit. Ich mache das, was schon hunderte YouTuber vor mir mittlerweile gemacht haben. Und zwar sehen wir uns jetzt gemeinsam mal die Entwickler-Showcases an. Und zwar den ersten und anschließend direkt den zweiten. Und ich werde dann eventuell mal zwischendurch dann immer mal so meine Kommentare dazu ablassen. Und ja, wie groß mein Hype ist, das dürfte ja mittlerweile jeder mitgekriegt haben. Ich würde sagen, Moment, erstmal das Bild kann jetzt hier weg. So, zack. Okay, das machen wir mal eben in groß. Alles klar. Dann würde ich sagen, fangen wir mal mit den ersten Showcase an. Über Hogwarts Legacy. Ich meine, gut, die anderen YouTuber werden das natürlich alles professioneller als ich gemacht haben, aber ist ja auch nicht schlimm. So hört ihr mal meine eigene Meinung über das Spiel, die überwiegend natürlich positiv ist. Okay, fangen wir mal an. So. Den ersten Showcase, der jetzt läuft, den habe ich selber noch nicht gesehen. Dafür den zweiten, den wir hinterher gucken, bestimmt schon 5 oder 6 Mal. Immer mit anderen YouTubern. Ich bin gespannt.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Hogwarts Legacy gameplay stream. I'm Chandler Wood, community manager here at Avalanche Software, and we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to show you today. But before we get into
Ja,
showing you the
Hallöchen
game and
erstmal.
gameplay, I have a few wonderful guests that I need to introduce you to. First up, we have our community guest host. He brings you the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. He's the local Merlin conspiracy theorist.
Guilty as charged. Yes.
One half of Expecto Go,
Yes.
James Whitehead.
Thanks, Chandler.
James
Yes,
Whitehead.
I'm James Whitehead of Expecto Go, bringing you guys the latest and greatest in Hogwarts Legacy content. And I am one half of Expecto Go, the better half. My wife, Sue, represents that other half. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Avalanche Software, for
Habe ich auch ein
inviting
Mikro
me.
an?
I cannot wait to go over this gameplay. I just
Ja,
gotta say
habe
that.
ich an.
Welcome, thank you for being here. And we've got two people from the studio, just two of the many people bringing this thing together, the magic of Hogwarts Legacy. Game director, Alan Tu.
Hello, everyone.
And
Hi,
senior
Alan.
environment artist and Hogwarts expert, Boston Madsen. So thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules right now to sit down with us to help us show everybody gameplay. So what we're going to be showing you today, first, the character creator, because it's your legacy.
Genau,
And you have to create yourself
Charaktererstellung
when you get into
ist
get
auch
into
schon
Hogwarts and bring your whole authentic self to
sehr
Hogwarts. So we're going to
umfangreich.
show you that character creator. Then we're going to dive into
Da
a
kann man
tour
schon
of
einiges
Hogwarts,
machen.
and it's just a small tour of Hogwarts, right? Because Hogwarts is huge. Hogwarts is really big. So we're going to be showing you a little bit, but it's still a lot. So, and finally, ending up with combat. A little taste of combat, a little taste of how all that works.
Let's go.
Just a little taste, yeah. So we're excited to get there. But again, first and foremost, we need to get into this character creator. And James, with you here, we wanted to let you create this character. So Andrew, who is going to be doing all of our gameplay capture today, is going to be handing you the controller.
Oh my gosh. All right, I won't break
Oh
it.
my God.
All right, so what are we looking at right here on this screen?
These are your presets. So a lot like other games, there's some initial settings that you can choose for your character that just kind of get them into like the ballpark of what you want to be, who you want to be, and what you want to change.
Oh man.
And then once you're in that ballpark, all of the other tabs let you dial that in, be exactly who you want to be. It's our goal with this is to make sure that for anyone that fantasized about bringing themselves
Genau, erstmal
to
sucht man sich
the very
einen
first time.
Yeah.
von
They
diesen
feel like they have the option to
Grundporträts, sag ich mal, aus.
represent who they are and essentially bring themselves to Hogwarts or whatever character they want to bring to Hogwarts.
Und dann kann man da gleich
Yeah,
allerhand
options
anpassen.
galore. Do you mind if I try to put myself in here right quick?
This is all about you
Okay,
today.
okay. All right. So, okay, yeah, that's me. We're here. That's me right there. All right, so let's.
Und für alle, die es immer noch nicht mitgekriegt haben,
Let's look at everything
Okay,
here.
let's
Play
es
around
ist kein
with these
MMO.
options, like,
Es ist ein
What are we
Singleplayer-RPG,
looking at with this
für alle, die
option
es noch
over
nicht
here? Tab,
wussten.
I see face stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of the different faces that you saw in
Was
the
ich persönlich
previous screen, all those faces
sehr gut finde.
are choices that you have here. So you can now you're just kind of getting into the details in your
Yeah.
face shape, in your skin color. And
Genau,
then because we
Gesichtform,
knew a lot of people going
Hautfarbe.
right in are going to want it right away. Even
Yeah.
though it's an option later in the game,
Yeah.
you can collect different types of glasses, put them on later. We give you some options right up front if you want to have glasses for your character.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Look at the structure of the faces with this. Wow. You guys thought of.
Oh mein Gott.
I like that.
Am 7.
I don't
geht's
think
für
my
mich
face
auch
is that
los.
skinny, but I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go that route. And down here is this.
those are your glasses
This
there.
gla-
Yeah.
Oh, so we started. We could go Harry Potter if we want. Awesome job. Oh
Genau, so eine
man.
schöne Harry
This is the
Potter Brille.
sum of the options, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so through the course of the
before-
game, there's a lot of different options that you'll keep unlocking.
Okay.
So as part of kind of like gear for the character, there's lots of different classes.
Und wie gesagt, den zweiten
axes,
Showcase,
all
den habe
kinds
ich
of things,
schon mindestens
over the
6-mal
course of the
gesehen.
game
I like how it's all Victorian era, though.
Yeah,
Like,
right
it's
up front.
very awesome.
Das ist so liebevoll und detailreich alles,
Oh my
das finde ich
gosh. All
nur
right, so
einfach nur
now-
geil.
Oh my. Oh, we can go sleek on this one with the hair. Oh.
I spend a lot of time here just like dreaming about my different characters. And what
Oh
they're gonna
my
be like.
gosh, the pony. The thing I'm always amazed by whenever I see any aspects of Hogwarts Legacy's character creator is just the texture. And like you even adding the bounce with the hair moving around. Yo, that kind of looks like Hermione a little bit. I'm not even gonna just like I'm not afraid of. And we can just go. Can I go like Tonks purple or green a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yo, this is so cool. Oh, I like that.
Ah, ist auf jeden Fall schon einiges möglich.
Oh, okay,
Da will ich auch eine Weile in den Charaktereditor sein, bis ich meinen perfekten Zauberer erstellt habe.
I wanted silver tips, so that was the closest I got to any color. But oh my gosh, this is so cool. So you literally can bring yourself. Like it's a myriad of textures and different hairstyles here. All right, so now we're getting over here to play around with some of the.
These are more subtle options. We've got
Okay.
freckles, moles, different things like when it comes to your complexion, like darker eyes, maybe like some shading on the cheeks.
Oh man, you guys literally thought of everything with this.
I do have a bit of fun with that. And then the scars are one of those options where, Harry had his own unique scar, but you can come in with different scar options.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Ja, aber ein
Look at
bisschen
that. I didn't
eine
even-
schicke Narben verpassen ist natürlich auch nicht schlecht.
Oh, those are my favorite. The eyebrow scars.
Yeah,
Die
yeah.
berühmte
Yeah.
Harry Potter Blitznarbe ist
Yeah.
übrigens nicht
Look,
dabei.
it's like tough, but anyway. So now we're over
Aber das
here.
Spiel spielt ja auch Ende des 19. Jahrhunderts,
You guys.
also vor Harry Potter Zeit.
Again, getting more subtle here.
Da kannte noch keiner Harry Potter.
I don't know how revealing I want to be with my facial features now. Just like, yeah, I kind of have a big face. Yeah, my eyebrows kind of sit kind of low. But I mean, literally, you have so many options just starting the game. I feel like I'm going to be here like forever.
You and me both.
And then this final tab here, this is where you kind of bring your whole character together. This is where you finalize everything. You're not choosing your house here.
Okay.
That's not yet.
That was a theory.
But here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more
Genau,
of a
man hat
feminine voice.
zwei
So moving
Grundstimmen.
within that, changing your pitch.
Man kann dann aber noch die Höhe und die
It's a
Tiefen
subtle
der
slider,
Stimme
but
ändern.
You can hear it,
Concerned about.
That was quite something.
and so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which kind of voice that you want. you'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because Andrew's going to be.
Ja, und 4
taking us through some of the
Schwierigkeitsstufen. Also
experiences with
Story,
combat.
klar, wenn man
And
wirklich
we'll
nur die
talk a little
Story
more about
spielen will,
difficulty, yeah, with
dann
combat
easy,
and
also
how it plays
leicht,
in. But I
normal
think
und
the
hart.
important thing here is like
Ich nehme
for
grundsätzlich bei
people who
Spielen
aren't
immer die
gamers
normale
especially, story mode
Schwierigkeitsstufe.
is a way to get into this without being worried about
Jetzt
like
sei denn, wenn die normale zu
picking.
leicht wäre,
Just
dann
enjoy
würde ich
this
auch
game.
direkt die harte
Now we're
nehmen.
at Expecto.
Aber in der Regel ist normal immer schon die richtige Wahl.
And whether you want to be witch or wizard.
Amazing.
What do you think, character creator? We're good.
I'm good. Let's explore Hogwarts and let's get into some.
Ja, der
Alright, through the
Charaktereditor hat
magic
mich auch
of,
schon
using
überzeugt. Der ist schon mal nicht
Desktop, we're gonna
schlecht.
be loading up a save a little later in, so that we can show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. All right, Andrew's got some gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Thank you. I do look good. And this is our first look at the Hufflepuff Common Room, I'm assuming.
Ah ja, der
Dorm room,
Hufflepuff
dorm room,
Gemeinschaftsraum.
This is awesome. But Alan, what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look.
Die Gemälde sind sich auch am Bewegen, wie in den
Right
Filmen.
now, we know there's been a lot of questions about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So, kind of going over it from right to left. On the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond.
Mhm.
So those are everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can earn over the course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times. And Revelo is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so
Und es gibt,
right
glaube
now,
ich,
today, we're not going to be going into the
16
spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of
16
spoilers
Zauber,
there, you know, like what are all the
auf die man
spells and
schnell
what can we
zugreifen
do.
kann. Ich glaube, es gibt noch mehr Zauber, aber
But we do
16
wanna
kann man
make
sich
sure
so
this is
legen,
freeze
kann
that
man
we
dann
share
während den
with
Kämpfen immer
everyone.
hin und her
And
wechseln.
then, on the left side, that thing that
Was
has
auch
that
schon eine
little
ganze
button
Menge
next
ist,
to it,
um ein
that's another
bisschen
thing where we
taktisch
don't
zu
want to split.
agieren.
Basically, that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. And so that's where you would access them rapidly is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of mini-maps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the mini-map and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
Really immerse yourself.
Yeah.
And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's kind of that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan.
Das ist
of
quasi der Schlafraum von Hufflepuff.
Very nice bedside
Aber auch die
tables.
Gemeinschaftsräume, die verschiedenen,
The honey-colored wood was
sehen einfach nur Hammer aus.
It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set sort of feel.
And the first thing I know is the music. The score is amazing with this.
Gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room.
Genau, das ist der Gemeinschaftsraum von Hufflepuff.
You'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
We just want to welcome you to your common room in every single house, just a little bit differently. Begin customizing that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
So, I mean, beautiful design. We could spend like the entire.
Ja, mein erster Durchlauf wird auf jeden Fall das Haus Gryffindor werden. Ich hatte ja vorher auf dieser Wizarding World Seite den Test gemacht und da hat der Hut mich auch nach Gryffindor eingeordnet und dem werde ich auch nachgehen.
It's got a real earthy vibe.
Yeah.
It's very, very earthy.
Kann sein, dass im Spiel selber auch noch so Fragen gestellt werden von dem Hut und der ihn dann in irgendeinen Raum einteilt, aber man hat am Ende immer noch selbst die Entscheidung, wo man hin möchte.
Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But I know you don't want to leave, but we're going to be leaving
Aber im Endeffekt werde ich sowieso das Spiel mindestens 4-mal durchspielen. Also mit jedem Haus. Und ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, ich werde jeden Durchlauf feiern.
Use Revelio right here because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something there. Yeah. So these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And
Ja, und da gibt es auch eine Menge Sachen zum Sammeln, so Collectibles und so. Das ist immer geil. Immer her damit.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. So we had to ask ourselves, what?
Continue, I'm sorry.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there.
Yeah.
But in our game, we had to answer the question, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here, before you push forward a little bit, you can see in our pause menu, it's got this book theme.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide.
Geil.
You can see your house kind of
Right
crest
in the middle,
overlaid
yeah.
over it.
Okay,
Right? And you
okay.
can see that on your level as well. So that the field guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why
Geil,
it's
geil,
on
geil.
loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors
So
have
cool.
granted it to you as a late fifth year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of
On the bottom.
locked into there.
Okay.
And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest
Wow.
challenges.
Ah, geil,
exploration
geil,
challenges.
geil.
And you can see field guide pages are on there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
1%. We unlocked that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself kind of fills out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do.
Achso,
around the school.
zur Spielzeit ist mittlerweile auch ein bisschen was bekannt.
To help you grow as a wizard and
Also wenn man jetzt
practice
wirklich nur
yourself.
strikt der Story folgen würde,
Yeah.
wären das so circa so 35 bis 40 Stunden. Und mit die ganzen Sidequests und der Open World und so weiter sind so ungefähr, ich glaube, 140 Stunden angegeben. Aber in der Regel braucht man da viel, viel länger noch für, weil es halt Open World, man will ja viel entdecken. Also ich brauche auf jeden Fall viel, viel länger dafür.
House hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all those in
gorgeous,
there?
but that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right
It's
next
a
to the Great Hall.
It's a nod to
Yeah.
lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
We didn't turn it
narratively.
into like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right
Part of the
there,
wizard
Andrew
world.
was teasing. That's the Great Hall over through those doors. Again, we're not going there. He's just kind of like, no.
Das sieht so geil aus.
Here's another collectible page. Just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can.
Genau, das sind auch mal Collectibles, diese Seiten.
That's a shot straight from the trailer too. Just that part right there.
Die schwirren da wahrscheinlich auch überall
A
rum.
little fan service here with callbacks to those. So.
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These
Und
windows.
die kann man dann halt mit diesem Zauber, wo man die Sachen an sich ranzieht,
I get surprised by it.
einfangen quasi.
That's the sentient magic
Ich habe
castle.
jetzt den Namen von dem Zauber vergessen.
Oh man. And we're going out. Look at that.
This is where the students would normally kind of congregate, just to kind of chill out, play, meet each other outside the Great Hall before and after meals.
Was es allerdings nicht in dem Spiel gibt, zumindest nicht zum Start, wird auch immer oft gefragt, ist Quidditch. Mag aber sein, dass das mit späteren Updates oder was noch kommt, weiß ich nicht, keine Ahnung. Aber wie ich in einem anderen Video gesehen habe, das Spielfeld von Quidditch ist in dem Spiel vorhanden. Und sieht sehr geil aus. Also könnte ich mir vorstellen, dass das dann später noch irgendwann mit reingenommen wird. Mit größeren DLCs oder
Sky
so.
location might look a little familiar to you.
Boah, sieht das geil aus. Alter Falter.
This is from the Spring ASMR and
Bald laufe ich da lang.
puzzle right there, that view. Andrew is taking us right back to
I am
that.
going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on.
Alter Falter.
We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts contains a lot of secrets.
Oh my god.
But this is this grand entryway right here coming down into a really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we
Da soll es so viel zu entdecken gehen, allein in dieses Hogwarts. In dem Schloss, das ist unglaublich. Ich werde da echt jedes kleinste Detail werde ich untersuchen.
Grand Central Station.
I love that. I love
Each
that.
direction, you know, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there. Transfiguration Courtyard, you know, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of the hub
Oh my
of
god.
a lot of the castle.
Even the color visually, you can just tell. Okay, green.
Oh, green, go that
greenhouse.
way.
Oh my god.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but
Yeah.
it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know your way around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis. It's a castle.
Da glaube ich, dass man sich da noch verirrt am Anfang.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm
from the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh my god.
This is another location where the students will gather, you know, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumor is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant.
Ich habe ja mittlerweile in dem anderen Video auch schon die deutsche Synchro so ein bisschen mitgekriegt und muss sagen, sehr, sehr gut. Auch absolut lippensynchron geworden. Hätte ich ehrlich gesagt nicht gedacht. Aber haben sie verdammt gut hingekriegt.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So those kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way to interact.
Ich bin auch gespannt, inwiefern man auch, werde ich zwar am Anfang nicht machen, aber inwiefern man auch die dunkle Seite einschlagen kann. Weil in dem Spiel haben es ja auch die unverzeihlichen Flüche geschafft. Da bin ich auch mal sehr gespannt drauf.
Different interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player, and then some of those things can affect things game-wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
Ja, und wie man hier auch, wie die gerade sagen, einige Sachen, Entscheidungen wirken sich auch auf das Spiel aus.
Yeah, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but
schon richtig geil.
Wow, look at this.
This is the Dada Defense Against the Dark Arts. Tower, which this is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just.
Das sieht alles so toll aus, so prunkvoll.
Very iconic, very unique.
Genial.
Anywhere else in the castle.
Somebody else that we can talk to, notably a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year or an 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am?
Echt Hammer, ey.
Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoil sports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone
Ich glaube noch
collection, that is.
10 Tage oder so, dann geht's los.
Someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again.
Da werde ich auch oft
I'll be
im
back to playing
Zwiespalt
Snake
sein,
and
welche
Gobstone
Antwort ich
by
denn gebe,
myself in
was
no
ich
time.
denen erzähle.
I love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her, you can be a jerk to her, you can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't over. So,
they continue.
That's a good example of the
Gobstones too. I know people are gonna ask, Gobstones playable? They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the
Ja,
course
ich
of
hoffe,
the
dass
game.
da später einiges an DLCs kommt. Alles, was es noch nicht ins Spiel geschafft hat, oder ein paar Sachen davon,
They're featured within the world.
I'm glad they mentioned they're.
wäre schon geil, wenn da noch was käme dann.
Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it.
DLCs werden mit Sicherheit kommen, also da bin ich mir 100%ig sicher.
Make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, and make it feel like it's
Steht da jetzt schon in dem Verkaufschart, egal auf welcher Plattform, überall auf 1. Allein die Vorbestellungen.
I was like, we're in Defense Against the Dark Arts class. I recognize that staircase to the left where we were just.
Trotz der Kontroverse J.K. Rowling da.
Dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Is it a schedule-based system? Is it so tell us how classes work?
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go the sim route. So I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and that kind of thing. Like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle.
Sieht ganz gut aus.
Everything is very narrative-based, and so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative. Each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors. Each one of them has bespoke kind of events and moments in those missions. And then there are also additional opportunities outside of
Mit dem Unterricht ist der gerade von dran.
side classroom missions essentially, where you can
Es gibt spezielle Unterrichtssachen, an denen muss man teilnehmen, storybedingt. Dann gibt es aber auch noch optionale wo man dran teilnehmen kann, um sich zu verbessern. Voll geil.
Down there sipping some tea with the
Victorian high society.
High society.
And it's no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh, come on.
Well, like speaking of lived in, like the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication is happening and the
Ja, Soundeffekte sind auch geil. Auch die Musik. Die Musik wurde orchestramäßig eingespielt.
Data Tower was one example, but
voll das Harry Potter Feeling.
It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the
Und einiges an Rätseln wird es auch geben in der offenen Welt auch. Das sieht man, glaube ich, in den zweiten Showcase auch gleich. Wird wohl sogenannte Rätsel geben. Da sollen wohl so circa 100 Stück oder von in der offenen Welt sein.
Sentient castle full of magic for
Voll
hundreds of years.
genial.
It's going to kind of grow and develop. Oh, I heard
Was ich
something
vorher
about
nicht wusste, weil so kenne ich mich mit den Harry Potter Franchise auch nicht aus,
magic himself.
ähm,
My future poltergeist could do
dass Merlin selbst Schüler auf Hogwarts war.
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky,
Yeah,
and he's got his Bowtruckle
Und
friend.
zwar, ich glaube sogar ein Slytherin war das gewesen, glaube ich, wenn ich mich nicht irre.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady.
Wusste ich vorher auch nicht.
Hides behind it. That's right.
Wird wohl ein wichtiger Teil, denke ich mal, auch von diesem Spiel sein. Bin mal gespannt, was man alles so erfährt.
Portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
I gotta call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are at the owlry. We're looking directly at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
I love the fog
owls.
rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
No, I also love that as I one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to, that I can visit. I just love that sensation knowing that is real.
That lovely Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini tour of Hogwarts, and again, it was but a fraction of this enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the Clock Tower, so another recognizable
Wie
location.
groß das da alles ist da innen drin. Hammer.
The secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here,
who's in a younger year. But
Lucan Brattleby.
That he's running things.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
and this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game this is going to be the first time where you yourself get to
Genau,
learn
das Kampfsystem. Da bin ich sehr gespannt, wenn ich das mal selber ausprobieren kann.
For me personally, this was where the game like really starts to open up.
Weil das sieht schon nach echt launemäßig spaßig aus. Man muss da definitiv auch ein bisschen taktisch agieren beim Kämpfen.
What we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There are certain spells what the wizards kind of like use.
Genau, ist so eine Übungspuppe.
And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is also your gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts?
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain
genau, bis zu 4 weitere Zauberrauten. Da, genau, bis zu 16 Zauber einsetzen kann. Kriegt man wohl dann auch ganz schnell gewechselt, steht auch da. Sagt er auch gerade. Voll geil.
And so you learn over the course of these events, you know, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is their cooldowns. So as you're
Genau,
spells,
einige haben ja einen Cooldown, klar.
like repeatedly using one thing over and over and
Also
over.
alle.
You can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on
Außer
the
die
wheel.
Standardattacken, glaube ich.
Through the game, there are different things that can affect things like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things. And so if you hold down R2 and you tap the D-pad, it will switch between your other diamonds if you've unlocked them. And that's how you access all those.
Oh, man. It looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together.
So you
pull those combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Well done,
Andrew.
And that's just against the dummy, but I mean...
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel.
Man kann natürlich
You'll
sich
be a
auch
fearsome challenger now.
mit den ganzen Schülern
I
duellieren.
think now we can take on something a little more
Bestimmt auch geil.
challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
We're on a PS5 dev kit here, so we're going to be able to kind of pause
I'm
the action
Yeah.
and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there's about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here you can select if you want to fight with somebody else, some of
One
your
of the other
classmates.
students.
Man
But
wird
in
wohl
this case,
auch
we want
Dementoren
action field
in dem Spiel sehen bzw. haben,
sense of,
weil die hat man auch in irgendeinem Trailer schon gesehen.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation.
Und
'cause
sogar
they
nach
put you up against-
Azkaban kann man wohl.
Off the jump.
Allerdings, wie ich gehört habe, nur wenn man in so
So I
einem
can
bestimmten
explain
Haus
this,
ist.
just
Wohl
'cause
nicht
I
mit
know people are
jedem.
gonna go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in. So
Mit welchen ist wohl noch nicht
you're
bekannt.
not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all of a sudden, control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spell to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying
And
on things.
we've got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's
Give us
going
a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health. And so, you know, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming.
Ach genau, dann weiß man, da kommt von irgendwoher ein Angriff. Man sollte ausweichen oder parieren.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like
Ähnlich wie bei Spider-Man, der Spinnen sind.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, you know, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these other students off here, win this duel.
How fast it is. It's like a dance.
Bin ich mal gespannt, wie lange ich brauche, beziehungsweise üben muss, bis ich das Kampfsystem richtig drauf habe. Welche am Anfang bestimmt ein bisschen hektisch werden. Aber soll wohl laut einigen YouTubern richtig gut von der Hand gehen, die das jetzt schon selber testen konnten. Wurden ja ein paar eingeladen zum Gameplay.
The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
And that is more or less going to wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. You know, so leaving the castle, going out here.
More owls confirmed.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes.
Boah, was werd ich, wenn ich Hogwarts erkundet habe,
But yeah, just heading out here again to show
die
you
Open World, boah, was werde ich da erkunden?
the world beyond Hogwarts, and this is not
Jede kleine Auffälligkeit wird sofort hin.
We will definitely be taking you in the future. little glimpse at the scale of the castle back there. All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side, I know there's a few things that you want to pick Alan and Boston's brains about.
I would love that, because there's a lot. All right, so
Jetzt kommen die
some
Fragen.
of these questions we did pull from the community secretly, but I did pull from the community. So,
and also from, I mean, going through this, I feel like you've come up with some things you want to talk a little more about. I'm sure.
Elaborate on, because we went through character customization, Hogwarts itself, and even combat. So this would be like for the both of you guys. Will we be able to go back and change our character creation if we don't like it?
Gute Frage.
So not everything, but there are certain things with hairstyle, hair
Ach so,
color,
kann man später im Spiel noch ändern.
kind of like core shapes, you know, like with the body and face, not after the fact.
Okay.
But there are lots of things. There's kind of like a barber shop in Hogsmeade that you can go to, and
Of course,
inside
there's a
of
wizard
there,
barber.
you can customize,
You could change your hair color for holidays or something, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
And the game features a lot of
Ja, es gibt ja auch Seasons
appearance customization.
in dem Spiel,
So
also
there's a ton of options there.
Sommer, Winter, Herbst.
That's in terms of like your character.
Und sollen wohl auch die Feiertage mit eingebaut sein. Also Weihnachten wird wohl alles weihnachtlich geschmückt sein. Da bin ich auch tierisch gespannt drauf.
Next question. What kind of leisurely activity can we do?
Natürlich Ingame-Zeit, nicht so wie wir jetzt hier Weihnachten haben, dann ist da auch Weihnachten, so natürlich nicht. Dann müsste man ja ein ganzes Jahr immer warten.
Because as you progress through the game, there's a bunch of different missions that open up. Most of them are driven by different characters' personalities. You know, some of them want help getting up the hijinks, or some of them want to just explore secrets in the castle because there are new secrets in our castle to explore. And so, so I think there's a bunch of things to do. And when it comes to class, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just kind of like the mainline stuff. There are kind of like extracurricular assignments, some of which are optional, some of which are kind of like blockers for main mission. Kind of like you can't go on this mission until you have the spell. And then the spell is open, you know, the assignment and how you complete it with your professor. And so there are opportunities to study, so to speak, like with that. But they do all take the form of our mission structure.
As you mentioned earlier. Wow. Let's get into some combat right quick. Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal?
Do spells have different levels, or are they all equal? I'm trying to think of how to describe that. So each spell has kind of like its own core identity and what it does in the game with regards to both kind of like puzzling, world exploration, and enemy combat and all that kind of stuff. And then it's through the talent system, right? When you go into that, it's kind of like each of those spells has ways to kind of like advance and grow and change. And as you spend talents, in some cases, it even changes like the way you approach the battlefield and things like that. So I'd say that's no more true than with like dark arts, for example. And as you go down that line and you kind of play around with those talents, it really does start to kind of like affect even how you approach combat and how you think about the battlefield.
I won't be touching the dark art stuff, but I know many of you guys will be. Second playthrough, yes. Dark Hufflepuff coming.
Ja, ausprobieren werde ich die dunklen Künste mal irgendwann.
I want to close off with this question, and this will be for everybody, and we'll start with Boston. With this game that you guys have been working on for however long, and the excitement you guys have, what's one aspect of Hogwarts Legacy that you are excited for
Gute Frage.
the fans to experience? Boston.
I think
Also ich freue mich auf alles.
Play through the world, specifically the castle, and maybe go read those books again. I hope that whether you're already a fan and love this game, or this is your first introduction into the world, I hope they just point at each other in the best way possible. And I'm just excited for fans to get to finally go to Hogwarts and feel like they can own it and live there. I've lived there for 5 years. It's a great place to live. Official 5th year.
It's really funny because I want to give a different answer, and I will. But I actually feel like the most honest answer is really similar. Because my favorite thing when when running around, playing the game, and getting to know Hogwarts the way Boston knows it, because she knows the school and the lore better than I do, and thank God, right? Because you want the person architecting it to really know that.
Yeah.
But when I rewatch the films or I'm rereading passages from the books, there's a different relationship to those things having played the game.
Right.
And so it's really looking over the edge and seeing location. I'm like, oh my God, I'm right there. And in the movie saying, I know what's around that corner in the film. Like if you go down this way, there's actually a thing over here, and there's this person over here, and this thing happened, and it just adds all this richness to everything that you already love.
And not just that, but you're going to add your own story.
Yeah.
So you know what happens around that corner because you did something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the quick answer, just to have something different, is I just love being on a broom. I just love looking at the whole world and just being like, okay, I can just go.
I can go there.
That vantage point, yeah.
There's just something exhilarating about it that feels very different in that kind of open air and on that thing. It's kind of incredible. Yeah.
And wrapping it up, for me, it's just bringing the community together with it and sharing those stories, because it is your story, and you are going to be writing. This is your unique experience within this, and even within the things that are the same.
Das finde ich auch so geil, dass sie jetzt so gemacht haben, dass man wirklich seinen eigenen Charakter erstellt und nicht einfach so wie die alten Spiele, Potter-Spiele, nur Harry Potter-Geschichten nachspielt. Und so erlebt man was völlig Neues, was aber trotzdem den Bezug zu der Welt von Harry Potter hat. Und man vielleicht auch einiges erfährt, was man noch nicht wusste.
Hogwarts Legacy releases on February 10th, 2023 and is available for pre-order now.
Bei mir geht schon am 7. los.
That's going to do it from us. We're going to leave you with a little something else, but for now, bye.
Bye. So, das war der Showcase Number 1. Sehr, sehr nice. Und in den zweiten, den wir jetzt gleich direkt im Anschluss gucken, sehen wir noch ein bisschen mehr. Boah, was bin ich hyped, da endlich selber zu sein. Tja, das war's dann mit Real Life. Okay, haben wir das jetzt hier abgehakt? So, dann würde ich sagen, springen wir direkt in den zweiten Showcase rein. Zack. Der geht jetzt nur 34 Minuten, der andere war jetzt ein bisschen länger. Okay, starten wir. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Hogwarts Legacy Gameplay
Hi.
Showcase. I'm Chandler Wood, Community Manager here at Avalanche Software, and I'm honored to introduce you to our panel today. First up, we have community guest host, Ben Snow.
Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening.
Hi,
Thank
Ben.
you so much for having me.
And from the Avalanche team, we have Game Director Alan Tu.
Hello everybody.
Alan.
And Systems Designer Mackenzie Toner.
Hi.
Mackenzie.
And finally, just off-screen capturing gameplay for us, Andrew Coram.
Und der Andrew wieder.
Today we'll be giving you a taste of the open world via Broom Flight, a deeper look at combat using the Dark Arts Battle Arena, and a look at your personalizable home within Hogwarts, the Room of Requirement, where we may...
Da freue ich mich auch richtig drauf. Der Raum der
And we're
Wünsche.
starting right where we left off in our last gameplay showcase, just outside
Geilomat.
Hogwarts, which I love that you can walk out of the castle after walking through everything, and then just come out here and take off on your broom out into the open world.
Mal eben
And Alan, I know that's something that you
Kaffee
particularly like
nachkippen.
about Hogwarts Legacy too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of just being able to hop on the broom and go anywhere. There's something about kind of like the sensation of everything being open to you And
So, jetzt sehen wir auch ein bisschen was von der Open World.
I love flying close to the ground, and I kind of wanted to talk about it just because I feel like
Das wird so geil, mit dem Besen da durch die Gegend
not
fliegen.
just because of all those feelings of exhilaration, but because they're not just I have a broom and it's done. I actually kind of like some of the mechanics in it. So you see in the lower right there's a meter there, and occasionally as Andrew's kind of flying up or flying down, you might notice it draining or not. And this isn't the present day where all the broom technology is well known and advanced and everything that we know and love. This is an earlier time where they're still trying to figure out, we're not at the 3,000 yet. We're at the 11. So.
Oh my goodness, I'm just so speechless right now because this is just so beautiful. The world just looks so. By the way,
Ja, das sehe ich auch so.
Broom, is that like the only one, or can you like upgrade that broom to go faster?
Yeah, so we have shop in Hogsmeade.
Auch richtig geil. Besenladen hat man.
A variety of different brooms, and it was important to us that the player could customize themselves based on their own aesthetic. So they're purely cosmetic, but if you talk to the shopkeep and help him out, he'll actually sell upgrades.
Yeah, and those upgrades will make it so that where normally the broom you can only fly, you can only go at max speed. It's kind of like a turbo meter down there. You can only go at max speed without the meter going down, kind of closer to the ground. And as you raise into the air, you'll notice the meter drop. And so those upgrades will allow you to increase that distance from the ground.
Ja, genau. Mit diversen Upgrades kann man das so machen, dass man dann mit dem Besen auch höher fliegen kann. Das geht am Anfang noch nicht. Voll geil.
And I love that mechanic encourages you to actually explore the world and kind of stay close to the ground. It's not just a travel mechanic, point A to point B. You're not just flying high over everything, although it is beautiful, something I really love doing, but as well, there's lots to explore on the ground, and so kind of keeping you down at the ground.
Was auch immer für eine Frage kam, ob der Charakter, ob man auch schwimmen kann. Jetzt habe ich im letzten Video gesehen, kann man. Auch wenn es eigentlich nicht nötig ist, weil man kann ja auch überall rüberfliegen, aber finde ich trotzdem gut, dass es geht. Das geht ja zum Beispiel bei New World leider nicht.
We all know from lore that Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village within Britain, but we wanted other opportunities to kind of meet other characters out here and to kind of populate the landscape so it's not just kind of, barren as you leave out this direction and that direction. And so we just imagine these different dwellings, these different smaller locations that wizards might live in out in the Scottish Highlands. And so it's those.
Und in der Open World wird es auch Hogsmeade geben, das kleine Dorf, wo die ganzen Geschäfte sind.
Have kind of like learned to live, what their relationships are with characters at Hogsmeade and Hogwarts.
Sollen, glaube ich, insgesamt, ich weiß jetzt nicht genau, 20 oder 24 begehbare Geschäfte geben, wo man sich Sachen halt besorgen kann. Kräuterladen, Besenladen, keine Ahnung, was noch alles.
Whether it's a vendor or different puzzles and challenges or different secrets that exist. Each one of those icons are different opportunities for gameplay. And you'll notice that same thing as we venture out into the open world as well. So when you go out into the open world and you see those icons, whether they're on the mini-map or on your map or off in the distance, those things are opportunities to say, like, I want to increase my inventory capacity. They're puzzles left behind by old wizards, that you can solve that actually grant you those. If you see ruins off in the distance and you visit them, you might find opportunities to actually expand and learn about your ancient magic. And as you kind of encounter different enemies dotted on the landscape, sometimes those characters, poachers or dark wizards, might be hoarding different magical resources that are valuable to you as you're playing the game. So each one has kind of like a way to connect to our gameplay loops and provide different opportunities that just kind of reward you for poking around.
I mean, I right away want to just cover all those points on the map just by going over there.
Well, we've flown on a broom already, but there is something that we haven't done so far, and that is getting on our flying mount. We're going to hop on our Onyx Hippogriff here. The Onyx Hippogriff is
Jetzt kommt's. Man hat auch fliegende Reittiere. Yeah. Fantastische Tierwesen, alles da. Voll genial. Das sieht auch so Hammer aus. Ich werde definitiv nicht nur mit dem Besen fliegen. Diesen Greif hat, glaube ich, übrigens jeder, der vorbestellt, hat diesen direkt am Anfang mit dabei.
or those transitions. And sometimes it just feels amazing just to be riding around on a hippogriff.
Look at it.
Yeah, it really is kind of like, I don't know, it's a great feeling being on it. And it's a great feeling managing those transitions, kind of going from run to fly and just being able to go wherever you want. And we tried to make sure that each one of these things that you can interact with have a unique identity and a reason for being.
And oh my god, like I see like different like areas, like a swampy area. By the way, can you go to like an entire map?
Den verbotenen Wald, den gibt es natürlich auch, was auch total geil ist. Bin ich auch mal gespannt, was mich da alles erwartet.
And right from that moment, early on in the game, you can go wherever you want. And so you might find more difficult challenges in different areas, and you'll see different spots as Andrew's moving around, like you mentioned, the swamp. But we have got like a coast, and we've got different types of environments out in the world just to kind of pepper your experience, reward you for exploring, keep things fresh. All those things exist as we're moving around.
So cool. And I love that windmill. It's like so rustic. Like I keep forgetting that this is like 1800s. The Wizarding World we've never really seen before. Like it feels so authentic. Like it's part of it.
Yeah, I love this vista too, and I'm gonna have Andrew stop here. We're gonna use a bit of dev magic to change the seasons. Actually, I want you to see what this world looks like, covered in snow.
Yes, please. I love snow.
Yes. Jetzt kommt gleich Winter. Ja, da haben wir's.
This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is so pretty. Okay, it looks so realistic. Oh my god, it changes the landscape.
Sieht einfach nur geil aus.
Oh my god, does it have like actual?
Hätte halt natürlich noch mehr gefeiert, wenn der Schnee tiefer gewesen wäre, so richtig ein paar Zentimeter. Aber egal, so ist es auch schon sehr, sehr nice. Sieht schon geil aus.
Felt like when you're reading the books or watching the movies where, you know, you'll see kind of like the title card winter and now the landscape has changed and you're really feeling that passage of time while you're a student, you know, going through your year at Hogwarts. And I think we wanted to duplicate that. And for me, it's really fun that it's not just on the outside, which I agree, I think it looked really beautiful, but within the school as well. So there are moments like when it reaches certain holidays or things like that, where Hogsmeade reacts to holidays and the school reacts to holidays, and you see the decorations around those environments change. That really helped just kind of make me feel like I'm there.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not just you know, for the seasons, those kind of vibe things. Like we have a day-night cycle, and that day-night cycle, even though similarly, like it's largely about vibe, when you go into Hogsmeade in the evening, there's less characters there. Around the school, you'll notice it kind of dies down and quiets
so geil aus.
And there's just candlelight and students kind of like as you're walking through the halls. But in that day-night cycle is where we've kind of placed
Nachts soll auch die Stimmung ganz anders sein, wenn man Hogwarts betritt oder drauf zufliegt. Alles gedämmtes Licht, beleuchtet, weniger los auf den Gängen.
And we're just looking at this view of Hogwarts in the distance. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's part of what I love most.
Geil. Ich kann nicht mehr abwarten, Leute.
Or on the broom.
No, I mean, you talk about going anywhere and things that you can see in the distance, and that's one of my. I still can't get over, like, no matter, I play this so much, but I still can't get over the fact that I can see Hogwarts out there, and there's just something beautiful about knowing that all of the things inside of it, the classrooms, the students, the professors, all the places I can go.
Dann noch, wie gesagt, die Feiertage wie Weihnachten. Ich bin mal gespannt, ob es da auch sowas wie Halloween dann gibt.
That it's all contiguous and just kind of like one space is
still geil.
I mean, I'm I'm speechless right now. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's just, oh my god.
As much as we want to spend a lot more time out here just flying around, experiencing the world, I think this is a great opportunity to switch over to combat. And last time we gave you kind of an intro to combat. This time we're going to really go a lot more of a deep dive on using the Dark Arts Battle Arena, which is part of our deluxe edition.
Kampfarena der dunklen Künste.
All right, Andrew's got us in the Forbidden Forest.
Die hat nicht jeder, die kriegen die Leute, die unter anderem die, so wie ich, die Deluxe Edition bestellen.
Part of the world. It's integrated into the world, so your experience is more.
Da in dieser Arena kann man halt die unverzeihlichen Flüche testen, unter anderem. Im Standardspiel gibt es aber auch 3 Arenen, glaube ich, die dann halt für jeden zugänglich sind. Und die ist natürlich besonders cool. Das ist schon geil. Und ich habe sie mit dabei. Und dieses Destralreittier, oder wie das heißt, ist auch noch in dieser Deluxe Edition mit bei. Und 3 Tage eher Zugang.
And is this like the only arena like this in the game where you can like practice?
Yeah, so in the base game,
2 gibt im Grundspiel, sagt er gerade. 2 Kampfarenen.
So everyone has access to those. And each of the combat arenas are an opportunity to kind of just go through a difficult combat challenge, fight through multiple ways.
Da kann man anhand mehrerer Gegnerwellen halt die ganzen Zauber üben, trainieren.
Cosmetic for your character and add that to your collection. In the case of that's no different than the Dark Arts Battle Arena. That's also
Kriegt dann, glaube ich, auch, wenn man gut ist, kosmetische Belohnungen und so.
One of the things that we're
Schon
excited about in the Dark Arts Battle Arena that people can do is you come in preloaded with different abilities. So the unforgivable curses are something that everyone's going to have access to through the base game and going to be able to
Ja, das
earn,
wollten sie
and they
uns
can
noch
make
nicht zeigen.
choices in order to kind of like add that to
Sorry,
their
no
repertoire,
peeking.
and they can also commit to that down with certain talents and things like that. When you play the Dark Arts Combat Arena, you actually have access to all those things as kind of like a way
Die
to
werden
test
sowieso
them.
noch einiges auf
And
Lager
so
haben.
it's a chance to kind of like tour
Die
and
werden
play
ja
with
nicht
the
alles
Dark
vorher
Arts
schon
and decide whether or
preisgeben.
not that is a path that you
Ich
kind
bin mal
of want to
gespannt,
go.
was einem noch alles erwarten wird.
But yeah, everyone has the same
Was man
ability
vorher nicht
to
weiß.
explore the Dark Arts. This is just kind of like a way of previewing.
And again, a great place for us to show off combat in general. So I think we're going to jump in here. Andrew's going to start battling, and we can start talking about everything you're seeing on the screen.
All right. Oh, they just about the cadavers right away.
Das war der Eveda Kedavra, der Todesfluch.
Was that Kujio? Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah, so that you'll notice right away, like when we used Avada Kedavra, that guy's health bar went from instant to 0, and we really are trying to honor the way Avada Kedavra works in the game, even in some pretty extreme situations. You'll notice that like
Finde auch geil, dass die den Todesfluch genauso stark gemacht haben wie in den Filmen. Dass der wirklich tödlich ist. Das hat natürlich einen extrem langen Cooldown, weil sonst wird man das Spiel ja so durchraschen. Und man wird den bestimmt auch nicht gegen jeden Gegner verwenden dürfen oder können. Aber trotzdem cool, dass der mit drin ist.
Well, it's like, so in the community we call it the ancient magic sign. I don't know if that's how it's called in the game.
So the community is astute. So on the
Es gibt auch noch den Crucio-Fluch, heißt der, glaube ich, diesen Folterfluch. Auch voll geil.
So it is ancient magic.
That is, yeah. So as your abilities in the game keep growing and you become exposed to some of the secrets about your own kind of mystery and your own abilities, you start unlocking new powers. So one of those powers, you'll see the R1 button appearing throughout the game. That's an ancient magic throw, we call it, that allows you to kind of like draw an object to you and fling it at an enemy. But whenever you see the R1
In diesen Arenen werde ich auch viel sein, um erstmal die ganzen Zauber auch richtig anzuwenden, ein bisschen üben.
Ancient magic spell to do a ton of damage against the character. And the way that manifests itself depends on the type of enemy that you're fighting. And you'll see a wide variety of enemies in here that are pressuring the player in different ways. You'll notice there's abilities that kind of bubble up under the player as he's fighting that force him to move. And there's different ways that we want the player to kind of move around on the battlefield. And that's actually a good link to the ancient magic meter in general. And the reason I say that is because as you're doing different things in combat, you're protegoing and you're doing different abilities and you can kind of spec into it with your talents, there are different ways to get that meter to build faster and faster. But one of the most effective base ways to build up that meter fast, that way you can launch these devastating attacks whenever you want to, is to actually perform combos. So you see that combo appearing, and it's almost like your emotions are building up, and then basically that builds up enough that you can attack someone. But as the combo meter builds up, at some point you strike someone and a piece of their magic kind of falls out of them. You'll see these blue orbs in the game world, and there's something that only you can see in the narrative, in the world. And it's another reason to move around on the battlefield. If you can go up and collect those things and suck them in, they give big jumps to that ancient magic meter as we're playing.
talking a lot about spells.
Ich bin mal so
and magic
gespannt,
here,
wie
but I
sich
think
das
it's another
Kämpfen an selber
huge
anfühlt.
component of combat, and
Wenn
that
man
is
mittendrin ist in die
tools
Action,
that
voll
you
geil.
bring to combat as well to kind of change the way you play. And I think Mackenzie knows a lot about what's going on with the plants and potions.
And so the tools are really interesting because they're basically like a prior investment. So you can bring the potions and the plants that you grow in the Room of Requirement to combat.
Und überhaupt auf
to
die
essentially
Story bin
kind
ich
of
auch
help
sehr,
you,
sehr gespannt.
defeat enemies a lot quicker and more efficiently. So some of the tools that you'll see
Geht wohl
here
um irgendeinen
are like the rock skin
Koboldaufstand.
potion. So that is something
Aber
that basically
inwiefern,
covers
was
your
da so
skin
alles
in
ist,
this like rocky
weiß ich
material
nicht.
that reduces the incoming damage that you're receiving. So against big enemies, hard-hitting enemies like trolls, that's super helpful.
Oh my god, he's just destroying. The troll just collapsed from one of the cadavers.
Obviously, we have the Wiggenweld potion as well, which increases your health. And then we have the focus potion. So when Alan talks about having to balance Avada Kedavra,
Saugeil, du
like
kannst auch
long
diese Tränke
cooldown,
nehmen.
because
Jetzt hat er
obviously
gerade
it's
einen
just kill.
Steinhauttrank
One
gehabt
thing that you could do is brew a
als
focus
Schutz.
potion, and that will increase how quickly your cooldowns regain.
Right. There's just so much like versatility, like in what
Aber du kannst doch
the
so viel
character
machen
is
während
doing
des Kämpfen,
too.
das ist
The troll
geil.
right now, like he's just bouncing around the arena. He's like not, and
Yeah.
he makes him move around too. Looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that our plants are violent.
Yes, and so that's like when we're talking about the setup of the arena. You also have
Da, jetzt hat er
plants that you
diese
can
Pflanze
fight.
dahin
So we have things
gezaubert.
like the venomous tentacula that you can put down, and it acts like
Die
a
hilft
current
einem
that
dann
just
auch
kind
noch.
of shoots enemies around the battlefield.
That is so cool. This is like a truly like Hufflepuffian way to approach the battle. Yes.
Exactly. No, that was super important to us, that there were these like multiple ways. And so you can see there's
Ich bin schon
a
ganz
ton of different ways
aufgeregt.
you can use. The
Ich will
Mandarin
endlich
is one,
selber
so you
spielen.
pull it out and it stuns with its like piercing cry these enemies in a radius.
And another thing I want to call out that we're seeing on the side of the screen here is these dueling feats, which I love because I love anything that prompts me to play a game in a different way, a unique way. I don't want to get stuck in my style, you know? And so this is a way to, if you want to get stuck in your style, go for it. If you just want to blast people with spells, go for it. But we also want to have some things over here that may make you use certain plants or certain potions or block more or...
Yeah, we mentioned the field guide challenges in the prior stream, and the field guide challenges, this is the way that the field guide manifests like challenges for you to do in combat. And exactly to your point, we just wanted a way to encourage players to explore the different systems, to help them decide, to just kind of practice with them and explore what they want to do, because there really are so many different ways that you can push talents. When you see the green X's on characters,
right,
and that's kind of through your talents you can unlock this kind of cursing mechanic that sort of like links the fates of these different characters on the battlefield. That way, as you get as you're cursing different characters, they all begin sharing damage. And so we have things like Avada Kedavra, which is the insta-kill, but if you curse everyone before you insta-kill this one guy, they can all drop dead for that kind of ultimate Voldemort fantasy. And so,
oh my god,
there are dark arts fantasies. There's fantasies about being more of a defense against the dark arts characters, things like that.
Da hat er einem Hühnchen verwandelt.
Use on the battlefield, and we can also spec into our potions and plants to make them more powerful and more efficacious. So it's all about which type of player you feel like you are, and whether or not you want to play with prep on the fly or with deliberation, and those are all different options.
That is so cool because like it's like I see so much like going on the
Da hat er recht. Da passiert so viel auf dem Bildschirm. Einfach nur cool.
That ancient magic, to be honest, feels like much more powerful than just the dark arts.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And speaking of plants and potions, we're going to be putting the dark arts away, put those unforgivable curses away, and heading to the Room of Requirement, which
jetzt kommt der Raum der
your
Wünsche.
home within Hogwarts, a personalizable space that actually has some utility as well, where you get
Hätte ich mir in der Art auch nicht vorstellen können, dass das so geil in das Spiel ist.
All right, Andrew's got us in the Room of Requirement, wearing
Du kannst da so ziemlich alles selber stellen, gestalten, wie du willst.
And I think that's a good jumping off point for
Allein da werde ich, weiß nicht, wie viele Stunden verbringen.
Not just your character and the visuals of your character, but actually this space is a place that you can make your own.
Yeah, it was super important to us that this space really did feel like your reflection as a wizard. So you can change the architecture in here.
What?
Different themes throughout.
Jo, selbst die Decke kann man verändern.
To really just hammer home that this is yours. You
Oh my God! What?
Das ist geil.
This is beautiful. We never expected that to be. Oh my God.
That's the thing, is not only can you change the architecture here, but you can actually conjure little objects into this space, as you can see. So there's like statues that you can do, and ornaments, and tables, and rugs, and just a bunch of little things that really
Housing halt, aber richtig geil.
Oh my God.
Das hätte ich in dem Spiel echt nicht erwartet, dass das mit drin ist.
Those places where you brew stuff,
Haben mehr.
that's where you can change, but you can do all of this. Where do you even get this stuff? Like,
Du kannst die
there's a
ganzen
furniture
Sachen
store?
anders stellen.
Yeah, so we call them conjurations. And the conjuration recipes can be purchased at Tomes and Scrolls in Hogsmeade.
Wie du es
But
willst.
also, as you engage in different types of gameplay throughout the world, you'll be rewarded with different
Sogar Farbe
options.
ändern.
So
Farbe
cool. You
ändern.
change color?
You can change the color, you can change
Hammer.
the size of it. And
Größe,
places
sogar die
just
Größe
get
verändern.
rewarded.
Oh my God, it's so tiny.
Groß, klein.
It's like for Baby Niffler.
And
Baby
I love how
Niffler,
the
genau.
system too is designed. It's not mechanical; it's immersive, and so you get the magical effect of conjuring it in, and you're actually doing this in the world as your character. But the way you've blended like that gameplay with
Da, du kannst alles verändern.
Design of personalizing the space.
God,
Ich werde
and
mir
I
das
love
so
the
einrichten, wie ich
animation,
es
how it,
will.
like appears, you know, like it's not just like there. It's
Wie
like,
es zu
it
mir
almost
passt.
evaporates.
It is really quite beautiful, and that was the thing, is we wanted that to look really nice, because the magic in the wizarding world is everywhere. It's physical, it's kinetic, and it's whimsical. We really wanted to nail that whimsy in this space. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is that not only can you like conjure things and you can change their look, but you can do that with the utility objects as well. So you can see that we have planting pots and potion stations, and you can change the look of those as well. And these are the areas where, as we had mentioned previously, you'll be growing your plants, you'll be brewing your potions.
Right.
So while you're also doing these like
Deine
nurturing-based
Werkbänke, alles kannst
activities,
du
this is also
umstellen.
a space where you would bring your gear to be identified, and
Ich
gear
werde
to
mir das da
have,
richtig schön machen.
traits put on it, which I believe Alan can talk to.
Oh.
Yeah, we keep bringing up appearance and how it looks, and on a, like in the game you can look like anything you want to whenever you want to, but the player will be finding different types of gear, that we call it, as you progress through the game. And essentially we just know that clothes and different items in the wizarding world can have different magical properties. And as you explore and as you adventure and as you defeat enemies, you're going to be finding different
Das ist auch so geil, dass
pieces of
das auch mit
gear,
drin ist.
that have different abilities.
Wenn man eine richtig
And
geile
that
Klamotten
can help
anhat,
you in your journey
ist ja
and
nicht
are a
immer die
major
Rüstung
part
auch
in
gut,
kind of growing as a
dass
wizard
man von einer
and
guten
advancing as a
Rüstung die
wizard.
Werte dann halt
And
auf
so
den
this
guten
is a huge
Klamotten
list.
übertragen kann.
Not all the time. Whenever you get a new piece of gear, you don't
Also man kann dann
necessarily
quasi
know
bestmöglich
exactly what it does.
gestylt mit
And
guten
so
Werten
there's a
rumrennen.
station inside of the room of requirement that you can
Richtig
conjure.
geil.
It's one of the first things you conjure, called an identification station, where you can actually bring that
Weil
gear
wie
that
oft
you're
hat man halt bei
uncertain about
Spielen,
and
man
learn
findet
what its
eine
abilities
geile
are.
Rüstung mit
Right,
geilen
that's so
Werten
cool.
And then as this
und
space
sieht aus wie der
advances
letzte
even
Dreck.
further, the space will eventually grow its own rooms,
Wie
and
ein
you're going to
Clown.
get new recipes, you know, like Mackenzie's talking about. All these different things keep expanding, and as it expands,
Nur
eventually
geil.
you're going to earn what we see here, which is called a loom. And when you set up a loom, it's an ability to essentially customize exactly which magical properties are on your gear, and take any piece of gear and adjust its properties.
Ja genau,
to
da,
tweak what
da,
it does.
da ist das,
And
glaube ich, was
I
ich jetzt
mentioned
gerade
earlier
erzählt habe.
that you can make anything look
An
like
dem
anything.
Webstuhl kann man
A
das wohl
collection
machen. Ja.
Of appearances, we call it, or cosmetics, we've been referring to it in this stream. Those types of things you can use, and you can apply a look to any other look.
Ja,
So
das
if
ist
you get
das.
a piece of gear, you put it on, you look like that, but you can change it to look like whatever you want.
That's so cool. And like you just
Das
you
sag ich
can
dir.
just put some
So
ability
cool.
to the sweater, but then you can just swap
Yeah.
that ability.
Yep, and appearances you can edit whenever you want in the gear screen. The loom is specifically about applying traits and applying larger upgrades that just kind of grant you greater statistical advantage, or give you really specific abilities that blend in nicely with where you're trying to go with your combat fantasy or talents and things like that.
Interesting. I'm just seeing
Alter, bin
they're
ich
just like
gehypt.
pumpkin fur, moonca fur. Where
Ich
does
will
that come
spielen.
from?
Yeah, and so you'll notice that the ingredients that are used to add traits and to upgrade your gear are based around beasts. So this is where we get into the beast care section, which is inside this
Auch
vivarium.
absolut geil. Das
Kind of bigger
Vivarium.
space on the inside idea. And so you can see here we have a couple
Hätte
of
ich auch
beasts
im
out,
Leben nicht mit
Grabhorn,
gerechnet, dass man
Mooncalf,
seine
we have a
eigenen
Niffler,
Tierwesen
and
in
a
dem Spiel
Weasel
halten
as
kann.
well. So
Oh my
quite a
God.
variety.
Oh my god,
So
you're just
geil.
like a big puppy.
They're
I
so
love their
cute.
cuddling. Oh my god, they're together. Oh, that's so cute.
They're adorable. And so part of beast care is petting
So
them
cute.
as well, but feeding them too. And so once you do those things, that's when they feel safe enough that they'll give you their magical ingredients. So mooncalf fur,
Jetzt aber auch süß,
Niffler
das Vieh da,
fur,
der
etc.,
Mooncalf.
that can then be used in your gear.
That is like so like intuitive because
Da
like,
hinten ist ein Niffler.
that makes sense because when you
Auch
touch the
super
animals, you
süß.
get some fur leftovers. That's so. Oh my god.
Yeah, and we really want to hammer home the fact that this is like a home that you're making for them. So in the overland, you can find these
Ja, man muss
beast
sich dann da
dens,
auch um die
and
Tiere
rescue
kümmern.
these beasts. Part of doing so is brushing them,
Kriegt
and
aber auch
feeding them
Rohstoffe von
food as
denen, die
well,
man so braucht.
and to build that relationship with your beasts. In addition to be able to care for beasts, you can actually conjure things in this space as well.
The house, the cottage.
Yeah,
The
right.
cottage.
And so we have like a lot of little ornaments in this area, and a lot of them are purely cosmetic.
Das ist
They
auch so
look really
geil.
cool. Again,
Selbst
it's
im
the
Vivarium
personalization
kann man alles so
of the
stellen und
space.
verändern, wie man das haben möchte.
Goodness, no, this is like I'm gonna spend 8 hours just designing this
Ja,
whole area.
ich werde da auch mehrere
Because
Stunden
this is
drin
like cool,
verbringen.
you have this little
Definitiv.
play area, like a personalized fish tank, so to say, just for the creatures. I love it.
Yeah, no, totally. And there's like a decoration aspect, but there's also we were saying inside as well is there's a utility aspect to it too. So as you progress in the game and you're able to purchase more conjurations, you're able to speed up your process.
Ja, eine
So one of them, for
Futterstation.
example, is the food
Dann braucht man die
processor,
nicht immer manuell
which,
füttern. Auch geil.
allows for the beast in the space to automatically get feed, so you don't have to do it manually. And so you're really
Eine Playbox, um mit den Tieren so ein bisschen spielen zu können.
in addition, there's also
Toolbox
a toy
so.
box where you,
Ja.
where you can play with your beasts. And you'll see here, yeah. So you can, there's a bunch of toys in it, and each beast has their own favorite toy. So as you can imagine, the mooncalf really likes the moon ball, or the Niesel as like a little
So geil.
cat really likes to chase the yarn ball as well.
Right.
And they're
Oh,
super
wow.
cute.
Oh my god.
Guck mal, wie der da hinrennt.
It's so cute.
Zack.
The big thing we really wanted to hammer home is that the world is a dangerous place. And so by going and rescuing these beasts and bringing them back here and caring for them, you're really helping them out. There's poachers in the overland who hunt these beasts for their material. So instead, you're caring for them. You're giving them a home.
Right. Oh my god, this Grabhorn is just gigantic.
So geil sieht das
Like,
aus.
he looks like my dog.
Wie der anguckt.
You could actually name them as well. So like your dog.
So getting back into that personalization, you know, yeah, we didn't want you to just like throw in, oh, here's a
Genau,
Grabhorn in
Namen
here,
kannst du
like,
denen auch geben,
this can
eigene
be
Namen.
named
Sehr geil.
whatever Andrew's about to name them.
Bruce.
Bruce.
The good name.
You know, we've created this really nice space, and you can get additional vivariums, correct, to different kind of aesthetics and looks to where you're keeping your beasts and caring for them.
Progression is a big part of this space as well. So
Ja, wie
as
gesagt,
you
hier kannst du
progress
auch
through the
alles
story,
verändern.
you will unlock more vivariums. So as you can see, this one's
Sträucher
meadow
neu
themed,
setzen, Pflanzen
big,
hinstellen.
open, bright.
Selbst die
But
Bäume
there's
kann
nothing
man
to say like
ändern
this.
und verstellen, verkleinern, vergrößern, woanders
And it's really a
hinstellen.
visual effect to
Hammergeil.
and more space for your beasts.
Oh, so it's like those. So when we're inside the room requirement, there's like on the left, there's that moon glow from one entrance, and then some shrubbery going on the right. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Ah. Oh, you put trees in here too. Oh my goodness.
And another thing with the beast care that I think is great, you know, tying back to the same kind of thing that you did with like the broom, where the broom is not just a method of travel, it's actually built in and integrated into the world. In the same way, like beast care isn't just this added element. You're not just throwing it on top. There's really this like narrative and integration to
Yeah, everything connects. So as you progress through the missions, you'll expand the space. As you earn resources, you'll go into Hogsmeade and use them to unlock the gameplay here and unlock new conjurations and different things to play around with in the open world. It's in those different in those different environments, like the different combat and conflicts and bandit camps and different things like that exist in the overland. Those things are what hold recipes that exist in the loom. So all these things have a way of connecting.
Tja, wie ich gerade schon mal
Moonstone that
gesagt
you
habe,
find out in the world is the resource that we use to conjure
Real
everything
Life hat sich
that's found
erledigt bei
throughout
mir.
the world. Forgeables are used for recipes. So
So
really
geil.
everything's like a cycle and keeps you coming back.
But even with the story that's being told too, I think people know who Poppy is and that she has a particular affinity for beasts.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything we're seeing here, you're going to be venturing out into the world, and this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, even of kind of like your interactions with beasts in that narrative. So, you bringing up Poppy, there are more kind of mysteries to discover and things to discover out in the world that have to do with her and that have to do with caring for beasts. And so different
Noch
characters
mehr
have
gibt es
their
da zu
own,
entdecken, was
have
die
their
noch
own
nicht
stuff,
verraten haben mit Tierwesen und
that just kind of make this all just kind of the beginning, the beginning of
geil, geil, geil.
Well, we could spend hours in here, but we're gonna have to end the stream now. What do you think about what you've seen today?
I mean, I'm just so blown away by how beautiful it looks. The open world seems so detailed, and there's so many things to do. And like the combat, we're gonna spend like 2 weeks or more just breaking it down by pieces. There's just so much to this world. Like, I'm so happy you guys did this overall gameplay.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got
Oh, so
more for
geil.
you
Er
to
sagt, das
discover
ist nur
and
die
find
Spitze
on
des
your own.
Eisbergs, was wir
Thank
jetzt
you
alles
so
gesehen
much
haben.
for being here.
Wird noch
Thank you for
viel, viel
watching.
mehr geben, was wir alle
Hogwarts
noch nicht
Legacy
wissen.
is available for pre-order now. It
Geil,
releases
geil,
February 10th
geil.
with 72-hour early access for owners of the Collector's, Deluxe, and Digital Deluxe Edition. We're gonna wrap things up, but first we've got a little surprise for you. Bye.
Bye. Das ist jetzt auch hart. Da waren schon viele am Spekulieren, was das jetzt ist. Dieses Buch da. Zack. Dann werden wir als Spieler da reingesaugt. Das haben schon einige analysiert, einige YouTuber. Und auf Pause gedrückt und so weiter. Und anscheinend... Moment, stopp, weiter wollen wir nicht. Anscheinend ist es das Buch, was man auch in der Collectors Edition kriegt, wo dieser Zauberstab drüber schwebt. Nur was das jetzt auf sich hat, weil wir als Spieler da reingesaugt werden, weiß natürlich keiner. Ich bin aber sehr, sehr gespannt. Weg, zack. Ziehen wir das mal hier rüber. Kann auch erstmal. Moment, brauchen wir nicht. Ja. Wie gesagt, ich bin sehr, sehr gespannt. Kann das eigentlich nicht mehr abwarten. Sind nur so knapp 2 Wochen, sag ich mal, bis es losgeht. Und ja, mehr gehypt wie ich kann man eigentlich gar nicht sein. Ja, damit werde ich dieses Video dann auch beenden. Und ja, jetzt können wir nicht mehr, alle die jetzt spielen wollen, können jetzt nicht mehr als warten, genauso wie ich. Und hoffe sehr stark, dass die 2 Wochen wie im Fluge vergehen. Wie in so einem Besenflug. Okay, ich würde sagen, man sieht sich in Hogwarts oder auch nicht oder wie auch immer. Okay, dann sage ich mal ciao, bis zum nächsten Mal.